The one thing that I've learned being a jeweler, and I have been a jeweler now for about 59 years. No, 49 years. I had to think about it for a second. But one thing that I've learned in my travels, and I have gone to most of the major houses of jewelry, shopping for things for my customers, most of which are on the who's who's list of the richest in Michigan. And I've learned that you can order the finest, the best of everything from wholesale shops, and the best stones that they have are absolutely nothing in comparison to two sources. If you go to the mine where the stones are cut, usually, I shouldn't say that, always, the best stones are held by the person that owns the mine. And I know this because they show me their stuff when I ask to see them. And they know all I want to do is see them. They know that I'm not trying to buy them, I just want to see them. And one time I was shown a tray from this particular mine, and I looked and I was stunned and amazed. He said, well, I just happened to have one, not as big as this one, a little bit smaller, cut from the same rough. I couldn't cut one piece out of it because there was a feather in it. So I elected to cut two pieces, and I have one identical color. And he brought one out that was much smaller, but yet the color was extraordinary. And I bought it. It was the best one I had seen of that type of stone. And to this day, my nephew owns it because I gave it to him as part of his inheritance. And he has it locked away in a safe deposit box, which was the condition. You can't take these to see the light out of the bank until I've passed. And then I also found out that the people who cut the stones, not just mine owners have phenomenal collections. And if you can get some of their stones, you're doing good. But the stone cutters have some of the finest pieces if they elect to save them. When my stepdad died, he had one of the most beautiful black opals I ever had put eyes on. It had the rainbow of colors. It had a lot of red. It was 50 carats. It was just stunningly beautiful. And I didn't expect to inherit it at all. When he had passed, months later, I was going through some letters. And in there was a letter that I had not seen. So I went to open it, and there fell out, thank God, onto my lap, my stepdad's finest black opal that he'd ever cut. Now, before he passed, slightly before, we had cut a black opal that was slightly bigger and had even more red in it than the one that he left me. And it was stunning. It was a one of a kind, of course, because it's a black opal. And it was just more beautiful. It was the last one that we cut. So, of course, I didn't sell it. I own it. So if you want to find the very, very best, you need to befriend the people that own the mines. You also need to befriend the people who are doing the cutting, because that's where you're going to see some spectacular stones, more than likely better than you've ever seen on the market. I can tell you that from what I've seen. Now, I know for a fact that the imperial jade, the jadeite jade, the very, very best, you won't see. You'll see a number 7. You might see a number 8, but you'll never see a number 10, ever. Those are held by old Japanese cutters and their families. They knew they had what they had, and they kept it. And if you were to get your hands on it, oh, let's see. When I was talking to one who had seen an 8 and knew of a person who had a 10, and they wouldn't sell it to him at all, and he specialized in jade, that would be about 15 years ago. It was at $1 million a carat was the valuation for a number 10. It looked more like an emerald than anything. I did not see it. I'm only going by what he said. He'd seen a number 8. I seen a number 7. but I've never seen a number 10. And tell me you never will. So if you ever want to see the finest of all, go to the mines, make friends of the owners, and ask them to see them. You probably will not be able to purchase them. Now, during this pandemic, my source in India that I've had for 49 years, actually less than that. Anyways, well over 20, almost 30 years, 28 years. The pandemic got so bad with their store being closed, they started to break out stones that their family had held on to. Not the very best, I'm sure, but still notable, better than you could buy. And I did buy a couple. Most definitely I did. And they're in my collection. They're not for sale to my clients. They're not for sale in the store. These are mine. So the mine owners, the cutters, and then of course the people that own the store, they're the ones that's going to have the best. So if you want the very best, that's who you see. And you might get some. That's it. Tricks of the trade. Good luck.